And there's no secret to this. Anybody can paint. Anybody can paint. All you need is a dream in your heart.
If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video, and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and also well executed. It's not a request.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tabitha. Of course, I'm here for Dreaming Tabitha, my channel, and starting the second episode of teaching YouTubers how to paint, the joys of painting. And today I have a special someone that I discovered on Twitter, and we'll be introducing her in just a second. But I just wanted to make sure that I said hello and hope that everybody is having a great day. And I just wanted to put this verse on the screen here that says, "Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory for thy mercy and for thy truth's sake," in Psalm 115:1. And I was just meditating on that yesterday and just thinking, when you're having a bad day, it's not about us, and when you kind of take your eyes off of yourself and your problems and look to the one who can kind of help you, who can help you out, kind of makes the day go a little bit better, a little easier, gives you strength for all of that. But yes, anyway, so glad that you guys are here. And I'm just going to go ahead like in Bob Ross fashion, because that's what I kind of try to mimic and make the show kind of based off of some wholesome entertainment on Saturdays. We're not in the morning because we had to work around the schedule, but that's okay. Still a nice Saturday afternoon. And like I said, in true Bob Ross fashion, I'm just going to go ahead and scroll the colors across the bottom because that's what Bob would want. That's what Bob would do. While we introduce our person for today, the YouTuber that will be joining us and learning how to paint is going to be Dani from Comics and Cosmetics. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I love Bob Ross myself. WWBR. What would Bob Ross do?
What would Bob Ross do? Exactly. And he would, encourage anybody to give painting a try, which is so great. Why that I think is that you're here. And I don't know how much painting experience you have, but whether it's a lot or a little or none, it's always a great time to just kind of start anyway. And do you have any painting experience in your background?
I do. I kept meaning to show you a couple of pieces that I did in the past, but like I said, we moved like 8 months ago, so of course we're still not unpacked. And what I do for a living, I am a professional makeup artist and hairstylist, so there's a lot of artistry that's involved in that. And in fact, whenever I would do my makeup tutorials, I would just say, just a happy accident. If you mess up, no big deal. Like Bob Ross says, happy accidents, no big deal.
No mistakes. That's right. That's right. You can always kind of recover from something in one way or another. And I definitely, in my art journey, I have discovered that when you make a mistake, sometimes you can use that to your advantage. And when it wasn't purposefully planned, it somehow made your art piece better anyway. And I don't know how that works. Sometimes it sucks because you can't quite see the ending, but you get over that hill and you're like, oh, this wasn't so bad. Now that I don't think that goes for makeup, to be honest. I think that there are definitely mistakes can be done in makeup. Like when you sneeze after you put your mascara on, like how many times has that happened?
I've got a fix for that.
Tell me the secrets.
Okay. So just let it dry. Let the mask, if it gets on your skin anywhere, just let it dry. Then use a spoolie and just scratch it off.
One of these. Doesn't that hurt?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, they're meant to be on your face, so they better be relatively soft, but it scratches right off.
Okay, I'll have to try that because that is so annoying. That's happened so many times where, you put it on and it's flawless. Like it's the best you've ever done in your life. And then all of a sudden you can feel it. And you can't, and before you can even try to pinch your nose or hold your breath or whatever you need to do, it's just done, and you've got all this nice little ring underneath.
Yeah, and then it messes up your eyeliner, but that is what concealer is for. Not a big deal. Right. Don't panic. Just take a breath and get out the concealer. You're fine.
And yes, well, I know we have a lot of guys in the chat, so I hope they found that very helpful. Look, no information is bad information, so pass that along to somebody.
All knowledge is good knowledge.
Exactly. Just going to say hi to a couple of people that are here. Thank you so much for joining us. Cam, I saw that you were here earlier and saying hello. It's been a while since I've seen you. And then Phil TMNT is here. We've got Inside the Booth. Dan is going to be lurking, most likely. What a lurker. Such a creep. No, I love Dan. He's great. TD in the house. Hey, TD. And then we've got Legion. He says, I'm here. The show can start now. Look, I try to be
Well,
prompt
thank God
whether you're here or not. So it's not all about you, Ryan. No, I'm glad that you're here. And then the Gilk Man. Oh, thank you for coming. It's good. So good to see you. Jabba the Whoop. Howdy, hey. I've never heard that name before. And then we've got Terry Rose. Hello, what a beautiful name. And then Dennis from Black Market Outpost, Rogue Disney, and Lee. We're going to be putting a happy little tree right here. That's right. And you know why Bob Ross always paints 2 trees, guys? Because everybody needs a friend. That's right. And then JT Gunter, hello, can't stay. Have a great stream. Talk to you soon. JT, I was just telling a certain somebody about your artistic skills. You are the man because you make some really amazing graphics.
That was.
Just kind of spreading the word there. Rogue says painting is best done with a paintball gun. You know, so you say, does that count as art? Funny story is that there are artists out there that will put a gigantic canvas, like a loose piece of canvas, and hang it on a wall, and they will put punching gloves, like boxing gloves on their hands, dip them into paint, and then create artwork by like punching the canvas and creating specific splatters and patterns and things like that, and sell it for millions of dollars. And I just want to say to myself, why can't I be that person? Like, I could do that. Why can't I be that person?
I've got a lot of aggression I need to work out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Art can be very therapeutic, but I don't, I just never dawns on me to punch things in order to make. So that being said, Rogue, if people can do that, then I'm pretty sure using a paintball gun, people would buy it.
Everything's art.
Everything. That's what they say. And then Stunning and Brave Megatron. I've seen you on Arwen's channel. Good to have you here. The Rocky style. Yes, exactly. That's what they do. They punch and they talk and all that stuff. So again, so much appreciation for the folks in the chat. Thank you for being here. I'm really, truly touched and honored. And thank you so much, Dani, for being here as well. We're going to go ahead and get started with the craft here. Let me bring up my secondary camera so we can all see what it is we're going to be working on here. And that would be Baby Grogu, Baby Yoda. I've even brought a little mascot over here. Aww. And I've got my little collection over there. One of my friends, Brooke, gave this to me. She can't do a thing with Star Wars, but I'm like, I will take it. So she gave it to me.
I've got mine. I got to take him out of his...
Oh, hang on.
There he is.
So cute. That is adorable. Not all baby Grogus are cute, right? These plushes, some of them are like downright creepy, but that one is super cute.
This is actually my daughter's, but
brought along for moral support. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, a lady at church gave me my plush.
That was sweet.
She gave it to me for my birthday, and I was really touched. That was really sweet. So yes, you can see we're painting Baby Grogu. This is something. As for those that don't know, I am an art teacher, and I do that virtually online through a platform called OutSchool. And this right here is one of my top-selling classes. Probably you can see why, of Baby Grogu. And I try to use this painting to introduce minimal line work, right? How to create something beautiful with as few or as little details as possible. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this. We'll be bringing him back from time to time to kind of look at him. But let me actually first walk us through. If you can imagine there, Dani, that Grogu is not here and just focus on our background, like strip away all this stuff. You'll notice we've got our bright colors over here towards the corner. And then we gradually go out this way and it gets darker. So we're just basically trying to create a place where the colors tell the story. And so the yellow and the green, number one, it's a highlight to accentuate his face, but it's also the story of his skin color, if you will, because he's obviously a little bit more vibrant because Grogu's kind of like a grayish green, yellow, sage color. I'm not really sure what color he is. But yeah, we're going to create that. And then we'll just introduce some blue in here for fun, make it look real pretty. And it gets darker to represent outer space because, of course, that tells the story of Star Wars. And it's going to be fun. We're going to be creating a radial gradient. Let me put this over here. So I've got with me my stuff all prepped and ready. Today I am using watercolor paper, but if you brought canvas with you, I encourage that because it's nice to be able to kind of like hang it on the wall or stand it up on its own. It's just kind of easier for me to do this watercolor. Yeah,
canvas,
it's going to be great.
And I'll probably put it somewhere in this area when I'm done. So you can see it behind me in the studio through all the shows.
Rogue says, love the labeling, Tabitha. Maybe art cam is just a little less generic. Look, this works. Like over here, this gets the point across. Okay, so don't wait.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Exactly.
If you don't know what you're looking at, you know,
that's not what's important. It's not what's important. By the way, you guys can also find Dani on Twitter right here, and I also have the link to her Twitter and her YouTube channel in the description below. So be sure to check her channel out and all the cool artwork that she has as well there on her face, because that's what she does.
Well, we also have our very first live stream planned for Monday evening. It's going to be 7 Eastern Standard Time, 6 Central Standard.
Okay.
It's going to be me, Shanti, and Tina. We're celebrating that we finally broke 100 subscribers. We're up to 110.
That's so awesome.
Our 100 subscriber celebratory show. So
good
make sure
for you. Good for you. I remember when I got my 100 subscribers, I didn't do anything special about it, but just do a happy dance in my heart. But it is quite special. And if I can give a word of encouragement, you know, I know there are days where like you try your hardest and it just doesn't seem like it's doing anything, you know?
Yeah.
And I totally get that. And so I just let you in on this. Like last year, 2021, well, let me put it this way. Back in 2020, I wanted to end the year on my channel having 20 subscribers because I thought that would have just been poetic, right? Yeah. And I went into 21 with 24 subscribers. I went into 2022 with over 300.
Oh, wow.
So just finding your people, as they say, finding the tribe, and just, you know, keep going and just keep working and just finding what works for you. And again, you know, the social media aspect really, really helps. So, you know, just keep on going. And you seem to have found a really good group of people. And of course, they'll encourage you and all that good stuff. So just keep going and congratulations.
Thank you.
Here we go. Hey, Lulu, I see you over there. And Alasia, always a pleasure. She's so smart. I want to be like her one day. she just, I like her a lot. Anyway, so guys, our paint that we have here, as we can see, we have black and white, green, yellow, and blue. And I told Dani if she didn't have her colors on her palette that she would want to do that already. And of course, the handy dandy cup of water and a rag, and our brushes, I like to try to keep them simple. And so we have 2 1-inch flat brushes. One is going to be to paint our background, and the other is to sprinkle on some stars, because in my opinion, stars make everything better. And a nice pointed detail brush, the most important brush we could ever have in our arsenal of brushes. So yeah, pretty simple, pretty good. Put these back over here. Oh, dropping my stuff there. All right, so are we ready to get started to creating our background here? All good? Okay.
I'm ready.
Cool. All right, pumped, excited. So like I said, we're going to be starting with our brightest area first, and we're going to be going into our yellow and just going in a motion, kind of holding our paintbrush vertically. We're going to just go in circles like so, and just kind of fill up this corner over here with yellow. So go ahead and just kind of dip your paintbrush, do a little backstroke there into our yellow. And here we go. Just no wrong way to do this because our background is only meant to enhance baby Grogu here. So
Okay.
I'm just going to make a yellow circle. And I'm going to just talk you through this like I do with my kids because I find that the easiest, explanation is the best. Not that I'm trying to be condescending, it's just that. So we're just going to create a little yellow ball over here, a little ray of sunshine. And it's Drunk 3PO. My stars and garters is the handsomest man on YouTube over here. Hello.
What? Surely not.
He likes yellow. Well, we're going to try this time, Jay, not to recreate the, what did you call it last time with Phil? The different stages of bacon. we were doing a sunset. Doing the different stages of bacon. Anyway, so creating our yellow ball here, we're just going to get bigger. Go ahead and just make it bigger. We're going to be using quite a bit of yellow here. And I'm going to fill up to my corner and always going in circular motions because stroke pattern is important. It helps differentiate from everything else that you will be doing from here on out. There we go. And just try to smooth it out so that way there are no little globbies that take a lot longer to dry. Especially if you are painting on canvas, because it has that gesso covering on it. It does take just a little bit longer to dry than watercolor paper because watercolor paper absorbs all the moisture instantly. And so just smear it out. And you can see it's not hard. Just little ball over here in the corner. And of course, if there are any questions, Dani, that you have for me, if you need me to slow down, if you need me to speed up or repeat any of my instructions, I am more than happy to do so because I want you to be happy with what you create. While this might be my show, you are the star that I want to walk away happy.
Oh,
yes. So
well,
here
you just made a best friend. You called me the star.
The star. Well, I try to please. And I see Josh Qualls here.
Hey, Josh.
Good to see you. Why is watching someone paint so soothing? I think it's just because of the way the colors go on. I don't know. It's
fine.
There's some satisfaction to it for sure. It's kind of like, oh, go ahead.
Oh, do you ever just, if you see like a plain white painted wall, you just look at it like, I could paint that. I just want to paint it.
Sometimes
anytime I see a plain white wall.
I'm kind of strange about that. I like plain white walls because of the fact that it's clean looking, but also because I like to be able to put stuff onto the plain white wall so that it's no longer plain. But painting the wall itself, I don't know. It's just like I look at it and I'm like, I want to, but that's a lot of work. One day I hope to do that. It is not the same. I've seen some really cool videos on YouTube where they do the Bob Ross challenge on a wall. And I'm like, oh, now that would be cool.
I have a bad habit, or call it what you will, a habit of painting big trees with curling like silhouettes of trees with big curling branches and leaves on my living room walls at every house I live at, and then hanging the family pictures from it.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I like it. Kind of reminds me of Harry Potter with the family tree with Sirius Black's like family tree. That's cool.
Kind of. Yeah. That might have been where I got that idea.
Subconsciously. Well, we'll say that Harry Potter got it from you. Like that.
Yeah,
they were inspired by you. Right there. See, they were inspired by you. Dan says it looks like an emoji face in the corner. Yeah, a blank expression. So because dark colors you probably know this from your makeup experience, dark colors, looks good, tend to want to overwhelm bright and light colors.
Yes, because the darker colors have more pigment in them.
Exactly. So we're going to want to make this ball over here in the corner pretty decent size.
Okay.
Because eventually we're going to be going into green?
Well, fun fact, because I am a licensed, educated cosmetologist, I am actually an expert in the law of color and color theory, because we have to know those things to formulate hair color.
Oh, that makes so much sense. There is amazing how much science really goes into cosmetics.
I had to take the law of color. I had to take chemistry. I had to take anatomy, biology, and electricity.
Oh, okay. Did not know that part. I knew chemistry and stuff like that, because and health, because if somebody has a skin condition, you have to be able to tell them, no, I can't do this to your hair, and all this kind of stuff.
We have to know all the bones in your head, all the bones in your hand and feet. Yep.
Wow. Well, look at me learning something. I love it. So here we go.
Cosmetology is definitely a science and an art.
Yeah, I think it can be, because nobody really has access to that information on the ready. I think it's underappreciated, the education that goes into it.
Hey, job security for me, though.
For real, though. I always tell people, become, a hairdresser or a nail salon tech, because life has shown us that no matter how little money people have, no matter what kind of a depression we might go through as far as finances and the economy, people will always be willing to spend money on their hair and their nails.
Hair keeps growing.
Exactly.
People are always going to need haircuts. So cosmetology and actually the nursing career is never without jobs.
Oh, yeah.
There's always jobs in those two fields.
So I don't know how large your yellow ball over here is. You can see that
it's big, Tabitha. It's gotten pretty big.
All right, let's control it. No, don't cross the streams. So that's fine, because we wanted to take up enough air, because like we said before, the yellow tends to kind of disappear a little.
How big it is so far.
Excellent. Nice. It does kind of look like a close-up portrait, an intimate portrait of a sunny side egg. But we're going to fix that here in a second.
Nice.
Yeah. And we could just put this on the wall and call it art.
This would look excellent in Ron Swanson's office, just with the little bacon on the side.
You could do that. So I'm going to be leaving the yellow on my brush. And fun fact, we're not going to be rinsing our brush for the entirety of our background, okay? So we're going to be doing two-toning, which simply means having two colors on the brush at one time. And I'm going to re-dip the corner of my brush here.
You're going to double dip?
I am. I'm going to double dip. Don't call me out like George Costanza over there. And then I'm going to flip this over and dip it into my green. Just like so. We're going to represent the Green Bay Packers here for a little bit. Then Dan says, now I'm hungry. Thanks, ladies. You're welcome, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome. Just doing our job as ladies.
Right. And then have to go make you a sandwich, right, Legion?
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that the yellow is going to touch the yellow over here, because that blends nicer rather than going into the darks with lights. So I'm just going to continue with the radial gradient and work like so, just nice little smear across like so. And obviously this is not much of a blend, as we can see. But as you know, the more you go back and forth, the softer the blend will get. And I'm going to work this green back into my yellow and just try to have a nice soft transition of color. Of course, like you were saying, knowing color theory, for those that don't know, the reason that yellow and green work so well together is because you can't get green without yellow. So yellow and blue making green. Nice little fun fact. If you have too much green, it's okay. Just go back into your yellow and just soften it.
Yellow is one of the three primary colors, and green is what is called a secondary.
Exactly.
You cannot in any way make yellow, blue, or red.
I know, right? Isn't that weird? I remember when I learned that. I was like, that's crazy. Then how do they do it? Magic, witchcraft.
What is this witchcraft?
So yeah, just going to work this back and forth. And like some people can see here that there's still a really harsh line that I'm not very fond of right here. So what I want to do, if that ever happens in your art projects, is that we don't want to rinse our brush. I'm just going to pat it off of the excess green on my towel. So there's still some green in there, but it's not overwhelming. Go back into my yellow and just soften it some more. The general rule when it comes to blending is that the more you do it, the better it gets. And also, it's like if you're not taking a long time, it's kind of a joke in the art world there. If your blend isn't taking a long time, then you're doing it wrong. This is, of course, not true because everybody has their own artistic flair. Yeah, I can get it. But the general idea is that, yeah, a nice blend will take a little time, a little effort. And no two paintings will ever be the same. Hopefully people understand that. This is not going to look exactly like my original piece either. And I'm putting some little streaks of green back into the yellow too. You can see, oh, that looks good. Oh, I love that. That's so nice and happy. When I have, oh yeah, who doesn't like that? Well, I can vibe with the mellow colors from time to time, but yeah, happy colors. We're going into spring here soon. Happy colors. So when you have a nice transition, it's kind of going the way that you want. We're just going to continue on with the green. And like I said, we're going to try to get darker as we go towards the edge. It's looking very good. I like that. When, of course, you're not a child, so you understand and comprehend how the blending and everything like that works. But it's funny when I teach this to the kids because I will tell them, I will emphasize and exaggerate the point that the yellow ball needs to be this big, right? But they will keep it so small over here in the corner. And then everything is just really dark. And it's like, I have to try
That's
to,
how we learn.
That's how we learn. And it's great. I've always seen some beautiful and cute baby Yodas in the class, but it's just so funny, how differently we comprehend and learn things, and they just can't understand. Big yellow ball, big. Here we go. Let's see.
Oh, this chair is so squeaky. I hope you guys can't hear it.
I heard a little squeak, but like nothing terrible. Going back
there was
forth
one time I was recording and I adjusted myself and it made this really rude sound. And I looked right at the camera. And, when you're recording like I do, you're not really talking to anyone. You're just talking to your face.
Yeah, right.
And I just said, that wasn't me. That was the chair. I didn't fart. And I left it in.
So that's some people's humor there. So
it's definitely my boyfriend's humor.
Okay.
That
Seems to be most guys. Guys seem to gravitate towards that. Yes. Just some inherent thing they have.
I've got 2 sons, so it's definitely a man thing.
Yeah. You blame the chair. What does he say? Josh Quall says, you blame the chair, I blame my dog. Right. Exactly. I've witnessed people doing that too. So, like
Dave does it all the time.
Not that I necessarily wish to to focus on this topic. It's not really one that's my favorite, but of course there's always funny stories. But we used to have a Labrador and she would have the worst gas, but she would wake herself up and scare herself and jump off of the couch and
that's hilarious.
Freak out when she would do it.
That's fantastic. My ex-husband once woke me up out of a dead sleep with one of his farts, and I fell off the bed. So I get it.
That's terrible.
It's a true story.
Oh my gosh.
I was gagging.
I believe it.
Someone saved me. This man's killing me.
Oh my gosh. So what's irritating whenever I do these live streams is the fact that because I'm using watercolor paper, it tends to kind of bubble a little bit. It's not quite flat. And so I'll get these shines where it looks like I totally missed a piece to paint and blend in right here. But it's just the way that the light is reflecting. But it's really irritating. That's why I was saying in my last live stream, it's very humbling to do projects like this when you are an artist, because you're not necessarily showcasing your best work to a bunch of people. And you don't want people to like think that you can't do anything, but it's like, well, it's just part of the process. Plus, you know, especially like when I'm teaching children, I don't want it to be perfect, because that can intimidate people into thinking that they could never aspire to be like the teacher. So it's quite the learning curve here. So just for the sake of my own pride here, people, I can paint. If you go to my channel, you look at my art, you know I can do this.
I can 100% relate. There are times when I am doing my eye makeup. I have really, really, really horrible allergies, and I'll start doing my eye makeup, and then all of a sudden my eyes start to water and I start sniffling. Like, oh, this is going to make me look like such a rank amateur. What do I do?
Exactly.
Just keep living.
Right.
Happy little trees.
Happy little trees. So again, I've got quite a bit of area already taking over. And again, there is no wrong way to do our background. Everybody's will look differently. These colors are meant to represent things. They're not our main focus. Oh, very nice.
Yay.
Very good. Okay. So
stuck
again,
my hand in it.
Oh, oh yeah. I've got paint on me too. If you're not making a mess, are you really having fun? I mean, come on.
Right. True story.
Hey, R2, good to see you. He says, hello, Tabitha and Dani.
Hello. Hey, R2.
I am not going to rinse my brush again. And it's the Mrs. R2. Hello, hello.
Oh, we got them both?
We do. I'm going to leave the green on here, and we're going to be doing the dip pattern once again, like we did before, except that we're going to be reapplying the green, and then we will put blue on the other side. And as I often tell the children, which Dani knows this is for the people that don't know, the yellow will work fine with the colors that we have because of the fact that, like we stated before, yellow and blue make green. So this is a nice, big, happy family of colors right here. So going to dip my corner back into my green, and then flip over and go into my beautiful blue, one of my favoriteest blues in the world. And making sure that my green touches the green on here, because again, that helps with the blending process. We're just going to do the same thing and fill up. However, you don't have to do this, but I like to show people just in case they need visual aid. We're only going to be leaving a little portion for the black, because black, not being a color, but being the absence of color, tries to swallow any pigment that is there. So I tend to take my little brush here and just kind of make a line kind of like this to help me know how much space I'm going to leave for my black, and fill the rest of this pretty much with blue. Again, you don't have to do this, but if you feel like you need kind of a guideline, you can always just kind of quickly streak that there, and then we continue with painting. Here we go. And I'm going to work my blue back into my green, so that way there's a nice blend there. You just go back and forth. Oh, here comes my favorite color, Phthalo Blue. My favorite color because I love blue and I love green. They are my favorite colors. But when you put them together, you get phthalo green and phthalo blue. Yes, they're that's my favorite.
Well, you see my wall back here.
Oh, let's have a look. What are we looking at?
It's kind of a...
Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Kind of like a peacock
the same
color.
Accent color for my salon as well.
Oh. Hello, Epstein's ghost. Glad to have you hanging out.
Ha.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not even... That was not even intentional. That was not even intentional. Oh my gosh. R2, I'm done butchering and no longer have blood on my hands. Well, you know, good for you. context would be nice. I must have missed
Yeah.
something earlier.
What? Blood and meat. Great.
Rogue tends to cook a lot, so I'm going to assume that he's cooking. And even if he's not, I'm still just going to assume he's cooking.
Just gonna assume.
Just gonna keep it safe. Here we go. The best jokes are unintentional puns. Yes, TD, that was definitely unintentional. I had no idea what I said until Dani said started laughing. So, hey, that works out. That's good.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So how long have you been let's see, how long have you been doing YouTube? You said was it 4 months?
Yeah. About 4 months.
What prompted you to start a YouTube channel?
Oh, funny story. So I have been really into, we'll call it nerd culture my whole life. I grew up in Shriners Hospital for Children because of the disabilities I was born with. And so I read a lot of comic books, watched a lot of TV, etc. Well, I'm also, makeup artist. I've always, loved makeup. And one day I happened to be watching Bailey Sarian on YouTube. She does something called Murder Mystery Makeup Monday, where she does her makeup while talking about cold cases.
Yes,
murder mystery.
I've heard of her.
She's awesome. Well, I was watching it while doing my makeup, and my boyfriend Dave walks in and he goes, "You could do this." And I was like, "What? I don't know anything about cold cases and murder mystery." And he said, "No, not murder mysteries, but like, you could do your makeup while talking about that nerdy crap you like." Basically,
so supportive.
Well, he said, honestly, I think he was just sick of trying to watch shows with me and me pausing every 5 seconds and explaining things.
You're one of those. Okay.
He said I needed an outlet because in this small Southeast Missouri area we're in, there's literally no one else like me, no adults that I could talk to about this stuff. So for a couple of years, we kind of planned it out. And Comics and Cosmetics was born. So I just sit and I talk about whatever nerdy stuff I've been obsessing about that week and do my makeup that's kind of inspired by that topic at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I love hearing stories about how people start YouTube because everybody's journey is different, and it helps other people who are not sure if they should take the plunge, because you can just literally talk about anything. Oh my goodness, it's the memes of destruction. Hey, memes. He is a superhero in word form. That's all I'm going to say about memes. He's awesome.
Well, hello. Thank you for joining us.
That man knows how to make an entrance on a live stream. Let me tell you. If you ever watch like maybe Tim, I always get this messed up. Is it Tim's Talks or Tim Talks? I always I put the S in the wrong place, guys. So if you guys know, help me remember him. He has his own channel as well. He talks about all kinds of cool things and has some really interesting people on his channel. I lurk in the comments sometimes, memes. I don't make my presence known, but that dude you had there talking about like quantum something. I don't remember what it was. Like, I don't know even what it was or what the point was, but let me tell you, I was just sitting there impressed by smart people. So Jay says it looks like an avocado. It really does. A rotting avocado. I wouldn't want one that's blue. It's about to get worse because we're going to introduce the black here soon. I don't know how far along you've gotten with your blue.
I got it on there.
Let's have a look. Let me bring it up here. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so shiny. Thank you, Dan. Tim's Talk. Yeah, good. Excellent. Because I can never remember that. Tim tries to correct me, and once you have something in your head, you can't get it out, So, all right. Well, if you like the way your blue is looking and you feel you have an adequate amount, now's the time to get into the darkness. And so again, not rinsing my brush, guys, leaving all these beautiful mashed up colors on there. It's really cool. It's like a tie-dye t-shirt. We are going to go into the black, but we're going to be doing something slightly different. So instead of starting and the blend on the seam here, like we've been doing with our other colors, we're going to start way out here in the corner and work our way back towards the blue because, as I had stated before, black trying to dominate all our colors here and eat everything up, it is best to start way on the corner because then you can see if you need to have more blue and less black to find the balance there. So I'm going to redip into my blue and get just a wee bit of black. I don't need much in compared to, here we go, let me hold it up here. You can see I definitely have a lot more blue than I have black. Very good. And keeping the black towards the outer rim here, just do that same back and forth motion and just let the colors start blending and seeing how dark it is as we start bringing it towards here, towards our other blue. And we can always make it darker. That's pretty dark. I'm going to add just a little bit more blue and see what happens here. Just taking our time here because we've worked so hard on all of these beautiful color transitions here. You don't want to make a mistake. Now, people tend to get maybe, oh, here we go. Since you are a hairdresser and all the coloring and everything like that, surely you would understand what the difference is between a fade and gradients and ombre and all of that stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Ombre is actually French for shade.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, they say, you know, colors that fade into one another. And it's like, well, that's not exactly how that works. Fading is when one color goes into nothing, oblivion. That would be a fade. Whereas a blend is one color going into another color, which produces our gradients. So it's nice that you know that. It's nice that you know. I don't mind explaining it to people, but it's kind of neat when you meet other people who are also in the know.
Yeah. I get that. Yes.
Okay. Now, this is not as dark as I would like it to be. Legion says fade in. I just hear Michelle from Force of Light Entertainment whenever I read fade in. Fade in. How she says that. I probably did a terrible mimic of her. Please, nobody tell her. I think she's great. She just has a cute voice. So I'm going to make this a little darker. Now that I see what this looks like, I'm going to work a little bit more black in here. So that way, when we sprinkle on our stars, everything will be more visible because obviously you can't see bright things twinkling on bright surfaces.
Right.
So we need to have that balance of darkness there. Phil says, would laugh if Tabitha started the stream with fade in. All right, guys, I am going to make a confession here. I don't actually know what that is referring to in our community. I see people, they make their shirts and all this kind of stuff, and they make the jokes. I don't actually know what that's for. So if anybody could enlighten me. Dani, do you know? Because I would love to.
What was it again?
Yeah. When people say fade in, I'm not sure. Fade in. I'm not sure what that's referring to in the community that we're all a part of. So
me either. I have no idea. I'm 42. Well, I'm old.
Maybe somebody can explain it to us, and then we'll be in the know. We'll be like the cool kids. We'll know. Yeah. Right. Okay. So Kathleen Kennedy's famous quote, but I don't understand what the context for that is. I do remember now that Megatron said that Kathleen Kennedy was quoted for that. But what is that referring to? What is the implication?
Promo blooper.
Oh, okay. Maybe I need to, go on YouTube and look it up. So that way I never even really thought about looking it up. That's terrible. Oh,
was she like trying to direct the video while she was in the video?
Yeah, because Kaylee said it's referring to a video. She wasn't supposed to say it. Oh, okay. All right. So Kathleen Kennedy wasn't supposed to say it. So when people in the community do say it,
yes. So
what are we trying to say? Okay.
Yeah, she read the camera directions instead of the just her words. That's funny.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Dani.
That's what it is. Okay. Thank you, guys. See, Kennedy was reading off a teleprompter and she read Fade, and she gave a speech about standing up for women and women in cinema and then fired Gina Carano the next day. Okay. And then she basically made a fool of herself by saying that. Okay. So like a certain somebody else in a high position that tends to read end of quote.
What else do you want me to say? You want me to say anything else? Close screen.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for explaining this to me. I have to fill my mind with so many different things that I don't always have time to keep up with what's cool and what's going on. She started the speech with fade in. Okay, that's great. Okay, now I understand. I'm months and months and months behind, but now I am laughing. I think
now we're the cool kids.
Now we're the cool kids. Memes. Pause for applause. Yeah. Could you imagine could you imagine saying those things? Oh my gosh, it's horrible. That's why I've always admired politicians that are able to make up their own speeches. Number one, either write their own speeches or just speak when they're, in front of people when they're spoken to, and not have to rely on the words of others, because then they don't make obnoxious fools of themselves like that. So when you have your background finished, by the way, take your time, get it where you want it to be.
I think I'm good.
I am going to put my brush into my cup of water, apply a little pressure, swizzle it about to make a nice cloudy cup of yolk. Kind of a smoky greenish color here. Not very pretty. Now I'm going to bring up my Grogu. Hello, Helicron Library Fox. Nice to have you here.
Hello.
Legion says, now I have to start all my streams that way. I'll just steal it.
Not a bad idea.
Steal it from Michelle and Natalie. Now that makes so much more sense. Now when I watch their videos, when I see that, and now I'm laughing. Like, I feel like such a dimwit, but that's funny. Oh my gosh. Well, it's not the first time I've been behind on something. So here we go. I'm bringing out my original Grogu here, and we can see, of course, if we were to compare that my new painting here, excuse me, is different from the original. It's, a little bit brighter and all that, slightly different kind of green color, but that's okay, because again, our background is meant to enhance the foreground, which is going to be Grogu later on. And so while our background, of course, is important in helping the story, given that it is not the main feature, we don't want to focus too much on things that we're not necessarily happy with, because it'll get covered up anyway. And so while we're waiting for our background to dry here, because it's quite damp, mine is, you can see where it's shiny over here in the corner, because obviously that's the last place that I painted. And like anything, if it is damp or wet at all, it's going to be shiny. So we can do two things while we're waiting for this to dry. We can actually continue painting. Putting our stars, go ahead and put our stars on here. Sorry, it's hard to word today. Using our secondary flat brush here. This one has seen things. You can tell I use this a lot. I've just had to
brush.
I've had to re-glue this head on here so many times. But
you are preaching to the converted.
Nice. So what we're going to do here is sprinkle on our stars, but keep them somewhat contained to the darker areas, because there's no point in having it in the brighter spot. And I really don't want Baby Yoda to have little white dots all over his face. So we're going to be dipping just the tip into our white paint. And we are going to get a little messy here. And using our finger, we're going to pull back like so really quickly. And of course, this is going to release the bristles forward and scatter our little stars here. Acrylic paint comes off of the skin really easily. So, if you're not really fond of getting dirty, that's okay. If that is an approach that you are... Let's have a look here. You look like the Grinch. It's great. Megatron says that brush has been through war. Oh, it's seen some hard times. It's painted some rough stuff. So, yeah. So if this method, because depending on the type of brush you have, if it is too, yes, please keep it PG or whatever in the chat. I don't know what I'm saying that everybody's like getting innuendos from, but I swear I'm not doing it on purpose. Anyway, sometimes this method doesn't work by the flicking the paint forward. So you can always take your other brush, especially because our surface area is lying flat. If you hold it in the hand, you can just kind of flick it like so, and it has to have that sound to it, nice crisp sound to it, and it will scatter. It just might be a little bit more difficult to contain, and the splotches might get a little bit bigger, but that's okay too, because we have stars that are closer to us, stars that are further away. You kind of have to make up a story as you go along and just kind of think about how the world really works as you paint, and that really helps people when they're not certain if the painting's looking nice. But anyway, so here we go. I tell people just like whipped cream on pumpkin pie, just a little on the top. So I just gently press this down in here.
That's not how I whip cream my pumpkin pie.
Neither do I, but you know, just it's a nice little quip to tell the children. And if your white paint has congealed a little bit too much since the time we've waited, you can literally get just a drop and run it across the top there, and that will help break up the formula, if you will. And so I'm just going to pull back and go ahead and sprinkle. Hopefully it shows up on camera because my stars are going to be kind of small.
This paint is so thick, it is not coming on. Oh, that was a huge glob.
Well, and of course, what's really great about acrylic paint, that is, as it dries, if there's something you don't like, you can cover it up. Let me see if I can get some big splotches on here just to try to... Nope.
I may have to add a little water to this
white
acrylic.
That's what I do. Don't do too much because it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much at all. Literally just a couple of drops will change the world. Boys, behave yourself in the chat. I appreciate your endeavor to, you know, keep it clean. It's a family channel. So I've made some bigger splotchies here just because I want to try to fit in with Dani. And just kind of sometimes I get the little streaks that are in there and I try to pretend that they're just shooting stars. It's up to you how many stars you want in your little galaxy. I'm not going to overwhelm too much. There's actually a lot more here in the real world than it is. TD, I don't know what I am saying, but...
Oh my gosh. You got to wait till I show you how this is coming out.
I'm excited. You can see my finger is covered in paint, but I'm just gonna literally just.
I just got
my. This is great. Hang on, I'm gonna look at you. Your makeup looks great, by the way. Here, me.
There we go. Wait, yeah, it's right there.
Oh my gosh.
Right there.
Let's see. Very nice. Yeah. Okay. Only behaving for.
So this is how it's coming out.
Aw. Yeah, that happened.
That stuff is some really thick paint.
Yes, and the globs. Yes, I don't mind those though. I was trying to get some bigger globs, but apparently it you never know. The paint makes up its own mind. It's just, you know. Josh Qualls says this is her new way of applying makeup. Just where the wind. I mean,
that could be a thing.
Could be. You do have
it's getting all over my face. I can feel it.
Well, you know.
Yeah, all right.
I'm gonna put my brush in my cup of water because I'm done with my stars. So
oh yeah.
And I'm just gonna let this dry here a little bit. So what's interesting is that with the splatter pattern and everything like that, the one makeup that you did that actually made me consider and wanted to ask you to be on the channel was the one where you did it almost looked like upside down drippings. Who was it? Was
Sabine Wren?
Yes,
Sabine
that
Wren
one.
Video.
I thought that was so cool. I'm like, man, she can do that. I bet she can, you know, paint
Thank
really
you.
well. And
that was, you know, I did the whole look and blended it all, you know, rainbow gradient into one another. And then I went through with actually this little micro swab and dipped it in micellar water and just kind of cut out my shape.
What is micellar water?
Micellar water is a cleansing water that's a makeup remover, but it's not harsh. It's not oil based, and it works really well for stuff like that.
Okay. All right. I was wondering. Okay. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And you, so when you do your makeup, for those that don't know, you typically center it around a theme or a person, and then you discuss like said person or the franchise, correct?
Yes. Sometimes I'll go through origins of a character. Like I said, it's based on whatever nerdy topic I'm obsessing about that week. Last week I did Q from Star Trek The Next Generation because, you know, Picard had come out and Q is back on Picard. I was like, I was so excited to see John Delancey back. Q is the best.
You like Q? Oh,
I
man.
love Q.
Oh, now he is
sassy.
He is a fascinating character. I will give you that. But I tell you, when I watched those episodes, like when I was first getting into Next Generation, the first time I saw him, I'm like, okay, this guy, he does a great job of making you not like him. Like, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
Right? Like he does his job really well.
That's why I love him so much.
And then when he came back on later on in the series, I'm like, not this guy again.
Oh, I love him. I just love him. He's so sarcastic and funny. Like he's so jealous of Riker, and he calls him number 2. He called him poop. It cracks me up. Like it was so simple, but
like
so
when he
effective.
brings the mariachi band on board of the Enterprise.
Yes,
I'm
that
like,
is in
what are we doing?
Where they make him human, and then he learns a lesson, and they make him Q again, and he comes back, and he thanks Picard and Riker by bringing a mariachi band.
So
love it.
So your makeup is inspired by these characters or franchises. How do you go about creating the look? How many times does it take? Like, do you draw it out first, or do you just kind of basically sketch on your face? How many times do you try new looks before you decide this is the one?
Well, sorry, my sump pump decided to drain randomly. So what I do is I think about the character while I'm doing my research. I'm thinking about the character, and I'm thinking, what pops into my head when I think about this character? What do I see on my face? And then the night before I record, I will sit down and I'll have something going that has that character in it, or something where someone's talking about that character. And then I just sit down with all my toys and I just work on the one eye, and I say, all right, what am I thinking? And then I just kind of play and take pictures as I go, like step by step. And that's how I decide what I'm going to go with. And then the next day I sit down and I recreate it. So it's all just kind of inspiration and pulling it out of my head, I guess. I don't put it on paper. I just, sit and play with my makeup and take pictures.
Okay. Wow. I used to do, like, when I did photography, I would do cosplay. Like, that's my favorite. I loved doing like cosplay photography, or just taking pictures of this is going to sound really creepy, but taking pictures of beautiful women. Like I love finding particular things about women and just like emphasizing them, and then trying to put them in nature. And I just like, that's my vibe. And I would sometimes do like elaborate makeup on them. It was kind of like, it wasn't quite cosplay, but it wasn't like natural woman at the same time. And so I would draw or sketch out the designs for the makeup for the eyes that I would want to do. And then I would practice on myself to try to see if I could get it. The hard thing about that, though, is that, not all eye shapes are the same, right?
Yeah, no.
And, eyebrows, eyelids, and everything like that. Face shapes. And so, I would get a general gist of what I was going for, but it is not the same thing to do on another person. Do you ever do this kind of makeup on other people?
Oh, yeah. I
Oh, really?
own a salon in Southeast Missouri called Salon Mia, and I do offer makeup services there, and I do them rather often. I honestly thought that what I would do with my cosmetology license was theatrical makeup, with special effects makeup. I can
Yeah.
do some pretty gnarly zombies with some Elmer's glue, some toilet paper, and some makeup.
Nice.
Um,
The dollar store
so-
edition of special effects.
I really, really enjoy it. Like my kids, we never bought Halloween costumes. We always made them ourselves. And
Fun.
when the cosplay things started getting bigger, I was like, that's
Mhm.
really cool. I really wish that this was a whole phenomenon when I was a teenager, because I would have been just elbow deep into it. And I was kind of checking the chat just now because I have it down here on my phone. And Mrs. R2, you are a doll. Thank you.
She is.
I appreciate
She
that.
is.
It's nice to be appreciated.
Oh, for sure. All right. Well, let's see. Some pretty cool info about all that. It's always, like I said, it's neat to hear what everybody, how they do their stuff, and particularly and artists of any kind, because we all have our own different way. Like, you heard that if I'm doing makeup on a person, I like to sketch it out first, then practice. Whereas you're like, I'm just gonna go for it, and see how it works out. That's pretty cool. I'm like that for some things. I don't know, not everything. It just just depends on what it is. So I'm going
art comes from your soul. It comes from you. It comes from your emotions, your heart.
Mhm.
And you seem like a very pragmatic person, like very organized, very
sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends on what it
not.
is. Like I color code my clothing.
Yo.
I do,
pragmatic and
because
organized.
well, so all right, here we are. Real talk. I tell that to my cousin one time, and he's like, dude, you're so OCD. I'm like, no, it's just practical. If I want to wear a red shirt, why would I want to have to look through my whole closet to find a red shirt? I just go to the section where all my red shirts are, and there it is. I don't find that to be OCD. I just find that to be organized. I don't color code my socks, but I do separate them by solids and designs. So,
Really? Well, I mean, I raised 4 kids, and I can't imagine taking that time to do.
I don't have
my
kids,
closet would
so. Well, I mean, my closet can be a hot mess. I'm not like a compulsive cleaner person, but it's like, as far as, like even my paints and everything, I will say when it comes to colors, like I need to have them definitely organized. If I had the space, my socks would definitely be like, here are all my red socks. Here are all my. That's just how. Oh my goodness. But anyway, that's enough about Tabitha and her issues.
I hate this chair so much. I need a new one.
Meme says she is pragmatic. She can smell your thoughts. Yeah. So, well, there's that. I can't do that. Memes. I smell teeth. Remember, or hear teeth. That's what it is. Yeah. So there's an inside joke with that. I was on Tim's channel, and Maria, the geeky crochet, she had her camera turned off, and she was talking about something. I don't remember what it was. And somebody, I think, said something about her smiling, and I misspoke. I said, I can hear your teeth. What I meant to say was, I can hear you smile. Like, you can hear when you can tell when someone's smiling when they're talking. And I said, I can hear your teeth. So then everybody's like, oh, this must be a special Ravenclaw superpower, because, I'm a Ravenclaw. And it's like, no, so, we don't meet too many of those. And we are in the minority here, so it's nice to have you. I always meet all these Gryffindors and Slytherins.
Everyone wants to be a Gryffindor because Harry was a Gryffindor. There are other houses, people.
Right. I knew I was going to be a Ravenclaw, and I was not wrong. So
my youngest daughter looks exactly like Luna Lovegood. And I mean exactly. And for Halloween 2 years ago, she dressed up as Luna, and she looked just like her.
That's so
just
cool.
like her.
TD says, what was it? Mommy, we need to go. Tabitha, kiddo, wait, I got to sort my clothes by color. can do that when they're sleeping. Anyway. Yeah, that's true. Phil does have one. Mrs. R2 made a sticker that says, "Dreaming Tabitha, I can hear your teeth." And I never hear the end of it. So now it's just expanded. I can hear thoughts. I can sense smells, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, guys, so I'm going to gingerly touch my background. And it's pretty dry. It's a little bit tacky up here in the black, but that's okay because we're not going to be painting up there as of yet. We're going to be focusing down here in our corner. Let me bring little Grogu back up once again for some reference. And here we go. You can see that I have Grogu off to the side. So I am not going to be painting his entire body, nor his ear, the whole portion of this ear on the side. However, wherever you place your Grogu, things are going to be mirrored. And so whatever which we understand, whatever I do on one side just basically gets reflected to the other side. Same instructions. So just up to you where you would like to place your Grogu. I also want to say that because Grogu is an alien, there is no wrong way to make Grogu. There are good and better ways to do things, but in this case, because he's a fictitious creature, there's no wrong way to do this. Everybody's will look a little bit differently, and that's okay. So before we get started with that, the basic shape of Grogu, because everybody gets overwhelmed when it comes to doing people, animals, flowers, things like that. Excuse me, let me get some water here. Is that we get overwhelmed by details. And so we need to just break it down to its basic shape. And that's what we're going to do here. And it's so fun when I do this with the kids because we're basically going to turn him into a little potato, essentially. Hey. So we can see potato. My paper is the same shape as my canvas area here. And all we're going to do is start off with the under portion of his face. And I'm just going to draw this out. You don't have to draw this out. I'm just doing this to demonstrate so we have an idea, kind of like muscle memory. And we're just going to do a simple shape like so. Okay, not too hard. We can do something like this. Kind of like a W that's been stretched and made really soft, right? Without those hard peaks. This would be the under portion. And then we're going to leave gaps right here for his ears later on. And just almost as if we were going to just hop over and continue this line, we're just going to make a little mound and come down like so. Okay. That's our basic shape for his head. And once you have a basic shape, you can do anything and know where to place all of the details. From here on out, when we go along, we'll know then that the ears go over here. And we already start having kind of the general idea of little Grogu. You know, just adding some stuff and you realize, oh, okay. It's basically Baby Yoda. So just ignore everything else and we just focus on our little little bean shape here as we go along. And like I said, if you decide to put your Grogu's face towards the middle, it's okay. You can make both ears. It's totally fine. The other thing is, before we get started, don't be afraid to take up the space. A lot of times when I tell people, okay, we're going to paint Grogu off to the side because the yellow is meant to kind of enhance and be for his face. The point of origin there. They tend to make their little Yoda faces about this size. And that is fine. It turns out cute and everything like that. But it's going to make it a little bit more difficult, actually, to do it smaller, to have enough space to work with your details than if you had a bigger surface area. And you'll have plenty of space for his ears. There's no problem with that. I think some people get intimidated also by the size of the ears. They think they won't have enough space. So feel free to, we're making pretty decent sized head here. So it'll all be good. Like I said, we're just going to start off with that little squiggle and over here. And we'll be switching over to our detail brush. Yes, we are, because it's about to get real. We can see if I missed anything while we get all this together. What's wrong with being Slytherin? Nothing wrong with being Slytherin. It's just that everybody and their mother wants to be Hufflepuff or Gryffindor or Slytherins, And that's just because the movies, we were talking about this with, I think it was with Lorena yesterday, Lorena Creel, that was because they're all, the cool ones. The movie really centered around Gryffindors and Slytherin and the problems that were within. And basically the Hufflepuffs and the Ravenclaws were just gap fillers, you know? So.
No one understands that, Hufflepuffs are smart and brave too.
Right.
And they're hard workers. So those are excellent qualities to have. There's nothing wrong with Slytherin. It's just that everyone thinks it makes him a tough guy. Like, I'm so emo and edgy. I'm a Slytherin.
Right. Exactly. And I will say that a lot of the stereotypes about Ravenclaws are true. We are pretty smart. we do like our books. But we're going to be doing all of this in black. And so no confusing elements there, no blending, all that good stuff. I typically do not paint facing down, so this should be fun. I'm going to learn along with you here, Dani. So I'm hoping and crossing my fingers that my Grogu will turn out just as good as my previous one. Because, again, it's always intimidating when you're painting in front of people and you're like, gosh, I really hope this turns out because I'm the teacher. So, but it'll be great. It'll be fun. It will be recognizable as Grogu, and that's what we're going for. So
that's the important thing.
I'm going to take my brush, and detail brushes are not meant to store a lot of paint anyway, so we're going to have to come back and re-dip several times. But I'm going to roll this in my black paint and drag it out so it stays nice and pointy like so. Okay. So, figuring out where we want the head and have some space for the ears. And again, if you don't have space for both ears, it's totally fine. It's not about the ears necessarily. I'm going to start over here. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to be dragging this way. But if you're right-handed, you might want to go thusly. Can't get my words out. And
that's a good word.
Actually, I'm going to mix things up and try to do it this way. A lot of times, I assume you're right-handed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny story. My boys, I have 4 kids. I have 2 boys, 2 girls. Both my boys are left-handed. Both my girls are right-handed.
Yeah. Oh,
weird is that?
That's it. I'm the only left-handed person left in my family, so I have high hopes for my niece, but she's only 2, so we'll find out. But that's okay. It makes me special. I find, though, that giving instructions to right-handed people, they're not good about being able to flip, so I'll just do this as if I was right-handed, and I'll start over here, and I'm just going to go ahead. It's a little bit tighter than I was hoping for, but that's okay. Let me make this so it's visible. And I'm not worried about the imperfect lines at this moment. We're just going to put this down, and then we can always go back and fix that. Hopefully we can see it. I will make it a little bit bolder just so hopefully you can see it. Just a little wiggle there. Take your time. It's all good. And again, I want to say thank you to everybody that is here today. It really means a lot to me that you guys would show up in the afternoon to hang out with us and all of that. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Actually, I have somebody that will tell you that himself.
If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video, and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and also well executed. It's not a request.
Oh my goodness.
It's not a request. If you guys don't know who that is Jazza, and you can find him on YouTube. He's got like 5 million subscribers. He is an awesome artist, and he's very clever and funny as all get out.
I literally thought it was Niall Horn. My daughter's obsessed with that one.
Oh my goodness. So, do you have your little squiggle? You still working on it?
Yes, I've got my squiggle.
Okay. Then we're going to leave a little bit of a gap here between for the ears, and just basically as if we were continuing that shape and just making the little mound. It always turns out, my goodness, a little bit differently every time. That's okay. Is it going okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't look like much right now, but again, it does kind of just look like a little potato. It's okay.
It looks like a lima bean.
Yes, exactly. That too. Oh, here, let's have a look. Oh, it looks good. I like your outer space scene. You know, even with those big blobs, it all kind of pulls it together, I think.
Yeah, I kind of like that stuff. I like happy accidents.
Josh. I mean, it's cold and rainy out, so I had nothing else to do. Well, you know, I still take that as a compliment because there are, you know, billions of YouTube channels that you could be watching right now. So, all right. So
well, if you've got 43 YouTube channels, Legion, then send them my way. Subscribe to mine with your 43.
You don't want that mess. You don't want that white trash in your house. I'm just kidding. Ryan's awesome people. He's good people.
Oh, thank you, Phil. That was a Christmas present from my shmoo.
It is a nice poster.
And then this, actually, my daughter painted.
Oh, great.
She was 12 when she painted this.
That's really good. I like the texture of
the...
Yeah, that's really good. See, here we go. Kaylee says, it would be awesome to see you do Cara Dune on live stream someday. That would be fun. I'll have to see about that. Maybe not having a guest on the channel because that would be rather difficult. I do have, you guys know, so I have my my little famous chibi of Cara Dune back here, and I have some fun stuff planned this summer with recreating that chibi character. But three-dimensional. So we'll see how that works. Hopefully that works. Miss Martin Muses says it's pretty. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. So anyway, continuing on with little Grogu over here, we are going to go ahead and give him his famous donkey ears here. So what I'm going to do is actually start outside over here. I'm just going to make little indication marks like right here. So I'm going to be on the outside. I don't know if we can see that. Let me make it a little bit bigger. I have this marker here, and then on the inside over here, I'm going to come down just to kind of help me know where the ear kind of needs. I'm probably going to bring this down a little bit more here, and that's okay because we're going to add some darkness to it. But this just to give me an idea. I look at this right here, and I can already tell that I'm not necessarily satisfied if the ear would come back and connect at this point. I want it to be a little bit bigger. So that's what that little marker is for. And we don't worry about it being there because we're going to, like I said, do some little bit of detail here. So we're just going to go for it. You guys know what Grogu's ears look like. Let me just bring this back up here. We've got plenty of examples. We know they're long, they're pointed. What's really important is just kind of when you bring them back down on the underside, is just to curve it a little bit. Just a wee bit. Oh, here we go. I'll just go ahead and go for it, and you can judge for yourself. I try not to make perfect lines because these are organic tissue, so they have some little bumps and things like that. It's kind of a fat ear, but I'm okay with that. I like some of the kids in my classes.
Ears, and I cannot lie.
It's true because some of the kids in my class will do the big ears, and the chunky Yodas are the cutest ones. The chunky,
yes, like fat babies.
Yes, exactly. And if you have space, you will be doing this on the other side to the best that you can. Again, because this is organic tissue and he makes expressions, if the ears don't exactly match up, it's okay. It just means that maybe he's confused or something. Whatever you need to tell yourself. So here we go. Come down. Here we go. And
it's
whenever you get
cold here too, guys.
Oh, we finally have some sunshine here. I'm so glad. Yesterday it was rainy. Today it's uber windy though, and I'm not happy about that. Not a big fan of a lot of wind because it tends to blow your hair everywhere, and you can start crying, and it's just not a fan. I hate it, especially
your lip gloss.
Yes,
a good time.
Never, no, chapstick, whatever you have, it's not good. Especially hate it on Sundays when I go to church and your hair's all pretty and then it's not, you know. So All right, so if we have our ears, hopefully we have something that from a glance, anybody be able to look at and say, that's Baby Yoda, or that's, or, you know, Yoda himself, right? We have the basic shape. That is a good place to be. So what we're going to do is put just a little bit of detailing inside the ears. We're basically going to recreate the ears, but just smaller. So it's like that, you know, like what we have in our ears, we have those little gaps and things like that. So I'm just going to start off with, excuse me, a line here, but I'm going to curve it a little bit this way, kind of like a little smiley face, like so. Man, it's raining where everybody's at. Phil says it's raining where he's at too. Josh Quall says, as a bald man, messed up hair is very low of issues I have to worry about. Well, there you go. Legion says, subscribed all my channels. Dani, you're at 116 now. Woo!
Hot dog! Thank you.
Excellent. And then I'm just going to recreate, like I said, the shape of the ear, but just a little bit smaller. So that way there's some gaps between.
I don't know what I've done here.
Is it going okay?
Oh, it might be Grogu. It might be a diseased lima bean.
Just make sure that you're enjoying it and make sure that you're not overworking it. That's the hard part when it comes to being artists, not overworking it. And then don't judge your painting till it's finished, as a habit of coming together. And I'm going to do this on the other side.
We would I was an instructor, a beauty school instructor, and so a teacher. And we would tell people, you know, don't be a perfectionist. That's bad. You know, you'll go down the rabbit hole.
Yes, you'll never know when to stop.
Just need a little bit more. Okay, I'll stop. No, I won't. Oh no!
It's exactly how it is.
It's okay. I fixed it. Everyone can calm down. I know everyone was super worried.
Sitting on the edge of our seats here, we're like, is she okay? Is she gonna make it? Oh, that's good. Oh, I like the little bit of grunge in there, actually. That's fantastic. Now, this is going to look really great. I love the background. I really like the swirl. It looks almost like an inverted black hole. So like
oh yeah,
I like that a lot. And so you just never know what's going to work in your favor, and that's why, of course,
happy accidents.
Happy accidents.
WWBRD.
Did that actually work? I think that actually worked. That actually worked. This is working.
It's a good feeling. All right. So, also, when we start going into the smaller details like the face, the pressure application is important. So you want to have good control over your brush. And so holding it close to the paintbrush, close to the metal, is reminiscent of a pencil or a pen. Gives you better control, more comfortable, so that when we do get in there, might make it look a little easier. But we're not there yet. So we're going to come down a little ways. And we know that Grogu, his outfit, he has this collar right here. And typically it's hiding his mouth. It's like really up high on his face. That's kind of what this little thing right in here is. This little mountain here is actually representing his clothing, kind of covering some of his face. So we're going to go over here and leave a little bit of a gap and just make a kind of a wiggly little thing like so.
Okay.
We'll do that on both sides. I'm trying to make sure that they don't look necessarily even and perfect. Oh, my camera has shifted. There we go. Let me hold this up here for right now. And then underneath of that, I'm just going to bring a little line and just kind of wiggle it down to look like wrinkled clothing. And on both sides. Now, your Baby Yoda is higher up, I think, on your canvas. So if that's the case and you have room and want to do the rest of his body, what you would do is something like this. Just kind of wiggle it down a little bit, drag it across, because this is minimal line work, so we're not adding a lot of details here. And honestly, this is one of my favorite little Grogu examples I've ever done. He's just so cute. I can't get rid of him.
He is.
He's so cute. And this is what I'm saying, guys, by the fact that when you can get the general gist of what you're working on and it's recognizable, anybody could look at even just this little scratched out piece and know that it's Baby Yoda. So it's all good.
There is beauty in simplicity.
That's right.
All right. How is...
Oh, let's have a look. Oh, it's good. See, he's looked like he's wearing a potato sack. This is what we want. That's really good, Dani. I love it. The background has made such an impact on your foreground. It's fantastic. Okay.
Thank you.
So we're just going to add a couple of wrinkles here in the clothing, and I just kind of go from where the collar starts, just kind of make some little swooshies like so, and then break them apart uneven like so, just to, oops, add a little detail. Hello, Jacob Ironside. Afternoon, Tabitha and Cosmetics. Looks like the paintings are coming along nicely. They are.
Thank you.
Trying to do some simple line work with a beautiful gradient background. Because of the fact that I say your head, but your Grogu's head is a little bit grungy, which I like. I would encourage you to kind of put some of that in the clothing down there, just kind of taking your brush, patting out most of your paint, and just kind of maybe in some areas like right up here, just kind of brush down like so gently, and just so that way it's all consistent.
It's like really poetry. Good. It rhymes. Where have I heard
exactly? It rhymes in the method for sure. Because even though we're not really trying to add a lot of detail to this, it still helps. Details always help. It just depends on the person. And when I'm with my kids, as far as in the class, it just kind of depends on the time frame, because we have a time frame. So like the kids aren't catching on, we're going to skip that.
They're not getting it. Leave it. Leave it. Moving on.
Exactly. I'm going to try to be like you, add some grunge to mine. There we go.
Well, I did come of age in the 90s.
So. Nice.
You guys are welcome for grunge. That was us.
I'm a 90s baby, so mine was like the metallic, like my coming of age was the metallic, lip gloss with the synthetic clothing, because we all thought we would be in space at this point, like Xenon girl of the 21st century. So
I had my first child on 12/31/99. And at midnight, I called the nurses into my room because, at that point it was 2000. And they're like, what do you need? I said, open the blinds. I want to see the flying cars. But there weren't any.
Instead, you're seeing flying monkeys.
Yeah. I want my money back. That was false advertising.
Exactly.
Hollywood.
Although we did get our flip phones and, all that. So.
Hey, I got my communicator. Exactly. I'm just waiting for my transporter next.
And so when we get our clothing done with that idea of the grunge and a little bit of detail, I'm going to actually go back into my ears, the ears, and add just a little bit of shadowing in here, starting out small because less is more unless it's hairspray. And you can always add more as we go along. And I'm just going to gently do some little swish motions so that way it sticks with that grunge kind of look, and just kind of add the hollow portion that's inside of the ear just to add some depth. And I'll do that on both sides. It's funny you were saying, your generation and you're welcome and all this stuff. I remember when I was in college and I was taking my drawing classes, and I had a total hippie. She's more of like a gypsy hippie kind of gal. I loved her. Miss Sandra Terry. She was awesome. And she was like a stereotypical kind of art teacher. Like her outfit didn't make sense and she was quirky. She would wear combat boots with like camo green tutus and like a blouse. Fantastic. And she had like this crazy wild black curly hair. I loved her. She was awesome. And she would walk around the room while we're drawing. And she just randomly, she said one day, my generation is responsible for granola. You're welcome. And of course, the whole room, we're all, you know, like a bunch of teenagers or early 20-year-olds. And we're all just like, and this one guy next to me, he's like, thank you. Like, do we look like granola eaters? Yeah, it's great.
That's funny.
I liked her. She was great. Here we go. So you just let me know when you've got all these details taken care of, and we'll move on to the face. Oh, hang on. Oh, it's good. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait. All right. We are going to start off with our nose because much like with the head, we need a point of origin to know where everything else needs to go. And so we would find the center of our face. Let me try to do that. And then just come down towards the bottom because we remember again that his collar tends to hide his mouth. So you can't really put the nose in the middle of the face. There won't be any room for eyes. Imagine that it's lower down right in here. And we're just going to do a nice little smiley face. Let me see if I make sure I get this straight. Little smiley face like so. Good. It's already starting to look cute, or cuter, I should say. So all these details are going to make a huge difference. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. I like the repetitiveness of this particular painting because it really helps people to understand, especially kids, shapes, concepts, and how you do one thing on one side, it's the same on the other, and there's just so much that goes into it. But let's see. Here, let me throw this away. So we're going to create his eyes. And thank you, Kaylee. She says we are both doing a good job. Kaylee's awesome. Kaylee's great. So we're going to be creating the eyes, of course, over to the side of the nose. And they're going to basically be longer versions of our smiley face. Now, our eyes are going to go through several phases because we need to discover what size works best for each baby Yoda because of the fact that, you know, we each have our different shaped heads and all that stuff. So we'll use some creative intuition here to help guide us, but we'll start off small and then get bigger as we need to go. The other thing is too that Grogu's going to go through quite a few expressions here as we create our eyes. So try not to panic. But the first one is really low key and absolutely adorable. And that would be if I go over to the side, we're trying to figure out, you know, again, using our intuition to know where and instincts where the eyes would be. I'm going to come over and pretty much make the eyes on the same level, the bottom portion of the eye on the same level as the nose, and just making a small line like so. Pretty close to the nose there. And of course I would do that on both sides. In doing this, we'll make a sleeping Grogu, which is absolutely adorable. I often tell the kids, if this is where you want to stop because you like it so much, please feel free to do so because he is pretty cute when he looks like he's sleeping.
That's when all kids are cutest.
This is true. That's true. But of course, I will progress on and we'll make the full set of eyes. I have made the huge mistake of not eating before the stream. I am starving.
Same.
Like, what was I thinking?
And I got up at 5. Like,
oh my.
Yeah, I've been going nonstop all day.
Kaylee, you're right. This also it does kind of remind you of when Grogu's trying to use the Force. That's good. I like that.
We had his little
Legion.
hand up.
Yeah, three fingers. Legion says, "Are you ambidextrous or left-handed only?" I'm ambidextrous. Ryan, Legion, whatever you want me to call you. Your superhero name, Legion. Talk. I am. I can use both hands. Just depends on what I need it for. I am predominantly when it comes to creative things and writing. I'm left-handed, but I can use both. So, Josh says he just ate at Taco Bell with the family. I'm a little bit jealous. I like Taco Bell. I haven't eaten there in
Give
years.
that about 20 minutes and his chair is going to be making noise too.
I have never had that problem, so I can't get along with people and their jokes about that. Phil says, "Didn't you make the same mistake in our stream?" I don't know what he's talking about. So,
I don't know whether. Oh, not
all
eating.
right. So, oh yeah, I need to eat the snacks Art Sue sent me. So, all right, I'm going to go into my eyes over here, and we're just going to create kind of little mounds, kind of like his head here, and just connect from one side up into the other, little turtle shells, if you will. And of course, what you do on one side, we do on the other. And now he's going to look soulless. A little bit kind of a
creepy at all.
Kind of a scary Grogu over here, but that's okay. We'll fix that. TD, you're right. Looks like a content, sleepy Grogu, but not anymore. Not anymore. He sees things. He's seen one too many things. When you have your eyes on there, and again, take your time. There's no rush here. We're just going to take the paint and fill this in.
Okay.
So that we have a better idea of the size that we want. It's kind of hard to judge a lot of times without the filler. So this way we get the full idea of what it could look like. Now he's kind of like a little zombie. Oh, poor Grogu. You just let me know when you've got your eyes all filled in here.
Okie dokie. Almost there.
Sure. All right.
Okay.
So from here is where we get to, yeah, he now looks like possessed by a demon. Yeah, poor guy. So we need to hurry up and fix that because that's not happy. So we'll judge for ourselves now how much bigger the eyes need to be. We understand now how to make the shape of the eyes, so we'll want to use that same method. But just for me, I know the eyes are too small. So I'll just go right back through the bottom of the eye and make it a little longer. And now he's going to look like a dad who like hasn't slept maybe in so long. Well, at least usually he does. When I make the eyes bigger, he usually looks like he has bags under his eyes.
Just looks like some sick wing liner to me.
Yeah, I was going to say this time around is like, that's actually pretty good. Normally when I do this in the classes, he looks like he's very tired. But you do the same shape or, same system, start with the line, and then I will, again, make the eye a little bit bigger. I love it. Like I said, he'll go through quite a few phases here before we settle down.
He's looking at the comments.
That's right. He sees you guys.
He is shocked and appalled by your chat.
He would have been earlier from whatever I said. And thank you to everybody on Twitter who shared and retweeted and all that stuff. Well, it's the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm getting my social media platforms confused. But those who shared the live stream with people and that you hang out with, I greatly appreciate that. And like I was telling Dani before, we're YouTubers. We're all trying to grow together. And so, when one of us rises, it's nice to extend the hand and try to bring people with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's been really fun. I've never met you before, so this was great. The internet's pretty cool. Meeting new people. I have met more people through podcasting and live streaming than I probably have in like a year of existence out in the real world.
Me too. And I work with people for a living. Like I have people come in and I do their hair, I do their makeup, their eyelashes, and I've made more friends doing comics and cosmetics than I have doing hair.
It's funny that way. I don't know what it is about making connections in the real world. I mean, I used to work at a studio doing just this. And I mean, I would meet, depending on the occasion, I could easily meet over 200 people in a day. But there's just something about this where it's like we connect in a different way and we DM each other or we follow each other on YouTube. And then somehow there's this connection. I don't know. It's just, it's interesting how times have changed. That's for sure.
Ryan, back off about my squeaky chair. I know.
I'm filling in the other eye now too, so he doesn't look like he's scared of the chat here. And you can kind of play around with the shape of the eye too. If your instinct is telling you something's not right about this, well, maybe you need to make the peak higher. Maybe you need to make it wider. This is I like to, like I said before, allow for creative liberty. You don't have to do it this way. Do it some way that looks right to you. I still think the eyes need to be bigger, so I'm going to just go ahead and follow through with my same process until I get the eye the same, the shape and the size that I want to. So judge that for yourself there. You're laughing.
He's like, my chair squeaks bad for some reason. I think it was the Taco Bell, bro. Just pretty sure I warned you.
YouTube. I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be live streaming on YouTube. And
me either.
It's great.
My gosh, no more getting up at 5 a.m. for me.
Yeah. Here. That sounds like a good idea. Although I don't mind getting up really early if I'm going to go somewhere for fun. Like if it's going to be a road trip with somebody or if I'm going to go hiking or something like that. I don't mind that at all. But just getting up because the sun's up, just what... do that every day. That's not special. Fun fact, Bob Ross was Air Force drill instructor. It's right. So he went from yelling at recruits to painting and talking softly like a big puffy cloud. That's what they say. That's what they say. Meme says, the internet is like a chakra, a conduit that connects us. It can be used as a tool to bring us together or as a weapon to drive us apart. Yes.
Well put.
Very well put, memes. That's what I'm saying. He's a superhero in word form. Look at him. Look at him fly. Okay. Now I'm trying to make my eyes even, but this is not easy.
They're sisters, not twins.
Exactly. That's what my cousin says about eyebrows.
That's where I learned it.
Yeah. And that's true. In the real world, everybody's eyes are slightly different, not just their eyebrows. One is up higher usually than the other. So I think I'm going to need to let that portion go. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Otherwise, I'll be this guy.
A little bit more. Okay, I'll stop. No, I won't. Oh, no.
Yes, I could just be like, no. And with black paint on here, there's no going back. Like you can't really recover from that. So there we are. When you like how your eyes are shaped, we're almost done here. Speaking of eyebrows, I'm going to get just a little bit of paint on the tip of my brush, holding it really far down here on the paintbrush. And we're going to create some really delicate, let me bring this back, really delicate eyebrows. We don't want them too thick because he will look aggressive and angry and maybe like an Italian mobster. So here we go. We're just going to make a simple arch. Here we go. A very simple shape too. And it kind of just will tell his personality. Maybe he's thinking, maybe he's upset. You never know.
He's probably hungry. Feed that baby.
That's right. Can you guys quickly say hi to my cat Nemo? He's been trying nonstop, meowing machine the past 15 seconds. Hi, Nemo. Hi.
Hi, Nemo.
Sorry, Phil. I'm not really a cat person. If you would have said it was a dog, I'd been like, oh my gosh, hi. No, it's not really a cat person. Cats are okay. They have their place in this world. Just not with me.
I can't abide an animal that's going to walk in its own fecal matter and then sit on your lap and rub those paws all over you like that. And
I've
you're
never
going to deal with
that
it because I'm a cat.
Never thought about it that way.
Now.
Alrighty, got 2 eyebrows. One of these things is not like the other. That's okay. And then the eyebrows, not the eyebrows, excuse me, the wrinkles in the forehead. We're going to take that same idea we did with our little squigglies down here in our wrinkles and put them up in our forehead, but we're going to make them a lot more delicate because he is still quite a young whatever he is. So I'm just going
He's
to
a youngling, nerdlings.
Right. Since we don't actually know what Yoda's species and Yaddle's species is. So I'm just going to do a simple one right here and then a shorter one underneath. No wrong way to do a wrinkle either. And I'm going to fix this line up here. I feel like it's too...
Yay!
Here we go. And then that would be the last thing that we're going to do with the black. However, again, trying to encourage creative liberty here. He does look good like this, right? But I do know that he has some little tufts of hair. So if you really wanted to, and I'll just do this, you don't have to do it so you can see what it looks like. Sometimes I encourage the kids to put like a little...
Oh, that's adorable.
Just a little tuft of hair there, you know? Not too much, just little whispers. Little wispies. It just makes him look really ornery. I like it. Hey, little Spidey! Good to see you. Yes, that's right. Yeah, make sure your dad drives and doesn't text while he drives. It's dangerous. Thank you again, little Spidey, for my picture and for the snacks that you helped your mom pick out and send me. I enjoyed the Oreo dips. Yes, I did.
That's my daughter's favorite.
I've never had them before. They were mighty tasty. And he says, our paintings look great. Thank you so much, little man.
Thank you.
When you like the tufts the way that they are, I'm going to be rinsing. We're almost done here. I'm going to rinse out my brush.
Okay.
And I'm going to dry it on my towel. And I'm actually going to... Oh, dinner time. I'm going to flip... I'm going to flip my paintbrush around so that we're using the back end like so. Because the eyes, as cute as he's looking, he does still look a little bit soulless right here. So I'm going to take the back of my brush and dip it in white, and we're going to create some catch lights because that's what makes it look really sweet, very innocent, right? So I just dip it into my white paint, and I'm going to put one over here in this eye. If the black is dry, my black in the eye is dry. So I'm just going to circle around with the back of my brush like so. And that already helps so much. I'm glad you like the Ninja Turtle painting, little Spidey. I was happy to send that to you. That was from my live stream with Phil. R2 asked if he could have the painting. And I was like, sure. I don't need it. Unfortunately, I will be not be giving away my original piece here because I need this for my classes. The thing with catch lights is that they need to match. Unlike the eyebrows and everything like that, they do kind of need to be in the same place on both sides because otherwise your Grogu will start looking cross-eyed. And unless you want that, I mean, that's totally up to you. But try to match them a little bit here. And I'm going to leave it up to you, Dani, how many catch lights you would like in the eyes.
Okay.
I recommend no more than 3 because it can get a little bit manga and a little bit strange.
Too busy.
It's a little too busy, but I like to change the size. So I have like my 2 big ones here, and then I'll put some little ones underneath of them. And you can see what that just makes such a difference for the eyes. Oh, he's so sweet. And I will, of course, clean the back of my brush whenever I finish off with that. Let me see here. This is starting to slow. And whenever you get the catch lights on there, that would be the end of our little Grogu painting. I'm going to pull off the tape here. I taped this down. Oh, let's have the grand reveal, everybody. Hang on, I'm going to give you center stage. Let's see if I... Wait, how did I do that? I messed up. There we go. That turned out really good. I shouldn't sound so surprised. I'm sorry if that sounds insulting, but I mean, like, it's really beautiful. I love that. I really do love the background, and I love the placement of the head because it works so well. Like, it looks like the background is in motion. I really like this a lot. I'm not overemphasizing for the chat's sake. Like, I literally love the background and how it emphasizes the head. And what's so amazing is the brush strokes in the bottom portion of the head work and match with the swirl in the background, but in opposite directions. And I think that's just what's so magical and what makes it look like it's in motion. That's really great. Good job. Snaps for Dani, everybody. That is so great. I love
Thank you.
That. Oh,
this
my
was
goodness.
Fun. Oh, it's going to look so good in my background.
Oh, it does. And look how bright and happy and shiny that is.
No, it's going to draw everyone's attention to it. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, everybody's saying it looks, let's see, it looks amazing. Wow. That looks amazing. Looks great. They look great. They look great.
Thank you, guys.
Amazing job. Looks awesome. Looks good, Dani and Tabitha. And that's awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I like painting this one because it's a simple painting, but there's a lot that goes into it just because of placement and coloring and everything like that. Let me peel the tape off of this. I can't. Oh, no.
We forgot the most important part. We got to
sign it. Oh, yes. I was going to get to that. Of course, you need to sign it because you worked so hard on it. And you want to be able to, so you can literally put it anywhere you want to. There's no wrong way. I knew one lady, the way that she would always sign her paintings. I mentioned this in my last live stream, was that she would dip her pinky into pink paint and she would put a pink dot in her painting somewhere. And that was the way she would sign hers.
Well, that's cool. I was going to use my detail brush, but I have no clue where it just disappeared to.
You can, I strongly encourage everybody to use a paintbrush to sign, but if you're nervous about it, you can just let it dry and use a pen or a marker to do that.
I've got a micro swab that I could use.
Anything will work.
Here we go. Drag that out.
Yes, that was super great. Be sure again, guys, to follow Dani on Twitter and on YouTube. The links are in the description box below. And she does, for anybody who came in later, she is an amazing makeup artist, and she does nerd themed makeup and talks about the characters that she's basically kind of like painting on her eyes. You've done Q, you've done Sabine, you've done, oh my gosh, list a couple of characters that you've done.
Okay, so my first one was my girl Wonder Woman. So we've got Wonder Woman, Scarlet Witch and Vision, Agatha Harkness, Spawn, Boba Fett, Peacemaker, America Chavez, Sabine Wren, Green Lantern, and I just did Catwoman.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Excellent. So that's really good. Do you like the way your painting came out, Dani?
I love it. I love it. And I had a lot of fun.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here. And this was a really fun collaboration. I really greatly appreciate everybody in the chat and you.
Have to have you on sometime and teach you some makeup.
Oh, that'll be interesting. I can do it, but I can't. You know, like sometimes I just like less is more. But then when I try to go, that's when I try to go extreme. Like that's when I muddy the waters.
Oh, I
like,
keep it simple for you. I keep it simple for you. I'm all about working smarter, not harder. So I'll teach you.
I know, but like it'd be kind of fun to go extreme. Like give it a try.
Oh well, say no more, my dear.
So yeah, well, you just let me know. I'm game and all of that.
Thank you.
Subscribed and followed. Yeah. So guys, I am going to be having another live stream next month currently with guests. I'm going to be doing this once a month. And so I've already got April and May taken care of. I'll just go ahead and tell you who I'm going to be having for next month. I'm super excited, stoked. I just love and adore this woman. I'm going to be having Arwen Avalon on my channel next month, and we're going to be painting. It should be a hoot and a half. That woman loves to laugh, and I love to hear her laugh. So be great. And it's going to be so much fun. So again, everybody, be sure to follow Dani, hang out with us on Twitter and on YouTube. And you said you're going to have a special celebration. Is it Monday night?
Yes. So Comics and Cosmetics broke the 100 subscribers yesterday. We're up to apparently 116 now. Like my mind is blown. I'm so grateful. Thank you guys so much. But to celebrate, we're having a 100 subscriber party live stream Monday evening at 6 Central Standard Time. So whatever that is for you. So make sure you like and subscribe and set a reminder because we're just going to have a good time. We're just going to hang out. It's going to be me, Tina, at Lady Space Opera on Twitter, and Chantal from Scuttlebutt Podcast, Selena Kyle. It's just gonna be the three of us ladies hanging out, talking about why we like being nerds and who we thirst for the most in live action comic movies.
Slang, I love it. Who we thirst for. I don't think I've ever used that sentence in my life. I love it.
We thirst past a little too much for grown women. I'm just saying.
Sounds like the Twilight era all over again.
Fun fact. See this over here? As I knock over my other figures. This book. That's me.
You wrote a book?
Yeah, see? I don't know how to. Yeah, that's me.
That's so cool. Oh, you should do a review of that and do your makeup on your channel, like to your book.
That feels a little too meta even for me.
Well, I mean, then people could know more about your book. Where is that available?
A million years ago. That published in 2006.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I was a baby. I was 26 years old. I was 24 when I wrote it, 26 when it came out.
That's exciting. That's cool. That's a dream of mine to one day publish a book. So,
Phil, you're just a sweetheart. I just love him. He's so
Phil's
sweet.
Great. Phil is great. Josh, we are finishing up here, but I'm so glad that you were stopping by. Of course, you can always go back and watch this. Well, again, thank you everybody for being here. This was super fun. I'm super honored to have Dani here and you guys in the chat, and hope that everybody has a fantastic rest of the weekend, a great Saturday. And yeah, just stay merry and bright, my friends, and all that in a bag of chips.
Have a wizard weekend.
I like that. Let's see if I can get